Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, All Things Business. I'm here hanging out with Edmund, and he's an incredible young man, done some amazing things in network marketing. As a matter of fact, he's building a solar business from scratch and done some beautiful things. And I want him to talk about a little bit about your background and what got you into solar, and talk about some of the money you made.
Love it. Thanks for having me out. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I got started in network marketing right out of high school when I was 18 years old. I was in Amway. For a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then from there, I just hopped from opportunity to opportunity. Never had the emotional intelligence to really plant my flag or take accountability for, my success or my failures. And nobody becomes a millionaire in 3 to 6 months. It takes time.
Yeah.
I always say commitment and consistency over time beats talent and skill.
That's so true.
So you give yourself such a better chance if you hang in there. And by the time I was 30 years old, I'd been in a dozen deals, and I was burnt out. Made a little bit of money in some,
Okay.
Never what I wanted. I've always wanted to make $1 million a year. And then I got into solar in 2019, worked really hard, made way less than I would normally make in network marketing. Just went all out. Did that again in 2020 during the pandemic, and then I made $2.6 million in 2021 without selling.
So wait a minute, how much did you make it? What'd you make that year?
2.6.
2.6 million.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You want to give a little formula how you made that much money that one year?
So I started in 2019, and instead of hopping from solar company to solar company, I planted my flag. I said, I'm going to be the reason why this company succeeds, why this company, explodes. I'm going to do everything I can do to just be the best version of myself, and I'm going to make a 5-year commitment.
There you go.
I ended up actually making my first million 2.5 times over in the 3rd year.
Wow. Well, you said key thing for a lot of you folks out there. Catch this. He said made a commitment to stay with the 5 years. The reason why a lot of people are not successful, they bounce around. But
Yep.
You said after a couple things, I'm going to stay 5 years, plant my seed, and make it happen here with this company.
What's nice about making that commitment, if you truly make it, and a lot of people make it, but then they break it. But if you truly make that commitment, you decide to take full accountability, full responsibility for your results. You focus on all the things you can control. You don't blame anyone else or any circumstances or anything around you. If you do that, then you're not going to waste time and energy looking at other things. The birds only get to the weak. You have to plant your flag. You have to know that it's a magic formula that will give you an unfair advantage. It'll be your superpower if you choose to use it.
Right, superpower. I love superpowers. Okay, so with that said, it took you made 2.6 million that year.
Yep.
Wow, that was in what year?
2021.
2021. So I know you did so well. And that was the year I met you, or was it before or later?
It was the year you met me.
Yeah, and you did so well, you bought the owner of the company.
A Ferrari.
A Ferrari. Now watch this, he's the number one.
I think you're wearing an AP, I bought him
an AP, he bought him an AP for the owner of the company, and he also bought the owner of the company a Ferrari.
Yeah, it was his dream car.
Yeah, it was a dream car, but here's the distributor, bought it for the owner of the company. And you're not doing too bad. Tell everybody what you drive.
Had to pay $60 for the Spider because I couldn't imagine not, seeing him smoke cigars in it. That's an extra $60. I drive. My dream car was a Rolls-Royce Dawn. I actually just sold it to help self-fund my new venture, which is my own solar company. But I also drive a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. It's actually a Chrysler with a body kit. It's got a nice orange.
Yeah, guy riding around a Rolls Royce and buy the owner of the company a Ferrari, making 2.6 million a year.
The way I bought the Cullinan is really fun. I was golfing with some friends. Somebody sent me the listing. It's like 470 something grand. And I called the dealership. I said, hey, I love that car, favorite color. I want it. And they wanted me to send 3 months bank statements, making $250,000 a month, and just got approved on the spot on the golf course while smoking a cigar. and then I chartered a little Learjet, flew into Arizona. They had it delivered on the tarmac. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, you like those private jets like I do. Hey, I also understand that you did all that, and I remember last time I saw you, we had a mutual friend of ours party, and he had a white party, and it was a great party, and we had a conversation about your American Express bill.
Yes.
You want to share that with the audience? Because talk about success and wealth here.
I'm the typical guy that was making $250,000 a month and spending a good $200,000 a month on lifestyle.
Yeah. His American Express bill was a healthy 6 figures every month. He goes through it, and I
multiple 6 figures every month for 2 years straight. Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to get you guys out there, because some of you guys don't think network marketing work. Network marketing is the only industry. If you're not in my company, I'm gonna bash your company. Here's a young superstar that just got out there and decided and made it happen. We've been friends, stay in contact. I've got a lot of friends in network marketing that we don't bash each other because we respect the industry. But to let you guys know, sometimes it's good, when your parents tell you don't touch the stove, don't touch it. When somebody else said, oh my God. So I want to have him come on today to tell you the potential of income that can be made in network marketing in the company you're in. Go ahead.
For me, there's nothing better than network marketing. You get an education, you get to find out what you're worth in the marketplace, you get paid exactly what you're worth, not a penny more, not a penny less. The more you grow, the more your income grows. If you've never made $100,000 in a year before, don't be upset if you're not making $100,000 in network marketing. Things take time. But if you want to take accountability, if you're looking for the growth, if you're inspired by other people's success, and if you get after it, over time, you will compound your efforts. You'll start making a linear income, and it just gets better and better from there.
Yeah. So if somebody's starting out in network marketing, what kind of advice would you give the people that are listening in today on all things business?
Well, you go from making a 5-year commitment
there you go.
To then applying some discipline to your day. So many people talk about their past because they're not doing well in the present, and they have an excuse for other people's success and an excuse for their lack of success. People are not what they did, they are what they do daily. Your daily routine compounded over time is everything. You listen to Jim Rohn, and he talks about how an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But most people are on a Hershey's bar a day, and they don't think it matters, if you eat an apple one day or a Hershey's bar one day. But you look at people on the street, you know what they've been eating for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So commitment and consistency over time is all you need to go out there and make all your dreams come true in network marketing. You just have to keep going. You can't be one of those people that quit 3 feet from gold. I mean, everybody quits, and so they never get to experience their dreams.
Yeah, why don't you do this? Tell everybody out there some of the obstacles you had to go through to get to where you're at today in building such a big organization and empire in network marketing.
Yeah, it's really, for me, I was that guy who knew everything and had nothing. I was that guy that expected success to come so much quicker. And I tell people, marry the process, divorce the outcome. I had to really change my philosophy and start adopting some new ideas, and I had to redefine my identity. If you're not acting and thinking like a millionaire, if you're not working like you're making $200,000 a month, that it's never going to catch up. But so a lot of people think life isn't fair. Life is fair, and you cannot be overworked and underpaid for so long. Napoleon Hill says the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. That soon can take 5 to 10 years, but it's gonna happen. And I'll tell you something about 5 to 10 years. Man, I remember being 20 like it was yesterday. Now I'm 35 years old, so time flies. Wow,
35 years old, look at that. It's amazing. If you listen to this, you too can make, well, what if you don't make 2.6 million? But with the advice he's giving you, he had a desire, he was persistent, he stuck with it, he understood the compound effect. He said, I'll give it this much time. Some of you folks are not giving it any time. You're planting a seed and you're pulling up the next week, next month, next year, thinking you're gonna be there. Gosh, I mean, my 30 years when I had pay dirt, I mean, whoo, it was amazing. But it can happen for any of us if you just stay with it.
I started from a negative $63 bank account at 30 years old. And for me, it was finally that time where enough is enough, and I'm gonna make that 5-year commitment. I'm gonna stop making excuses. Entrepreneurs find the way, right? They can overcome obstacles. I no longer wanted to have $50 or $500 problems. And so I had to overcome those problems and outgrow those problems. And doing the work, you know, the work is a great separator. You got to have the income producing activities, and you have to, you know, an hour in the field beats 40 hours in the classroom. You can only read so much. You can only study so much. You should do that every day. But at a certain point, you have to take action.
Yep.
And you got to get your reps in. You've got to build that muscle. And you just have to remind yourself that your emotional intelligence will sabotage your success every single time. If it doesn't matter 5 years from now, don't waste more than 5 minutes on it, and just keep going with the productive activity.
Wow.
The opinions of others, you know, your broke friends that are judging you for starting a new business, you don't want their life anyway. So their opinions should not reflect your identity or your mood or what you're gonna do. Everyone acts based on their current situation and on their paycheck on Friday. If you wanna make it, you gotta act based on where you wanna go. You gotta ask yourself, the best version of me, the me that's actually making $1 million a year, how does that guy act? How does he think? Is he stressed out about bills? No, he's stressed for success. I'll tell you, I've never felt so poor in my life than when I started making $250,000 a month. My circle changed. Everyone in my circle is making over $1 million a month, already has the plane, already has the house, and is already contributing more to charity than I could imagine. And so, you know, and you got to practice gratitude.
Yep, you got to give back.
But at the same time, you know, once you practice gratitude, you also have to cast a bigger vision, a compelling vision that's going to move you forward. Too many people are stressed out about bills, are living in anxiety and stress, and that comes from inactivity. That comes from knowing that you're destined for more, but you're just not even trying. So you could be in network marketing. You could spend your first year getting your teeth kicked in, showing up to every meeting, talking to a bunch of people, getting all these no's out of the way, and maybe at the end of the year, you don't make the kind of money you wanted to or were expecting to. But guess what? You're gonna feel amazing, because there's no better feeling than trying. And potentially your philosophies will change. Potentially you're gonna say, I'm gonna marry the process, divorce the outcome. I'm giving this 5 years. My first 2 years, I didn't make any money, guys. And then the last 10 years before that of trying all these different gigs, I missed out on making millions. So many people that I've met in network marketing, that I've introduced to network marketing, have made millions of dollars before me, because they woke up, they had the humility to not think it's all about them. They were a team player. They were willing to be part of something bigger than just them. They were willing to contribute to a cause. You will do a lot more for others than you will for yourself. You've got to find people that you can share your success with, at least up here, at least on paper. Everyone's writing down, their dream watch, car, you know, pay off your parents' house, whatever it is. Cool. Make it real. Actually look at that every single day. Who are you going to share your success with? Who depends on you succeeding? Who's actually going to benefit from your success? Because things will get tough. And the only way you're going to persevere is not if you have some materialistic goal like a car or a watch, which I've had, which is awesome. But you will persevere if you have a real reason why you must do this business. You must get out of your situation. For me, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
On a couch, in low-income housing, buster, dreamer of my hometown, never made it. It was just like, 30 years old, it's time to do it.
Yeah. Wow. What would you say to seasoned network marketers out there, or people been around a little bit, or stuck a little bit? What would you say to those people out there?
Stop making excuses.
That's
stop
right.
playing too small. Stop thinking that you should be making money with you know, for what something you did 5 years ago. I mean, I get it. It's nice, but we need some new blood.
That's right.
Start injecting and infecting people with excitement, emotion, and enthusiasm, so they can't eject and reject you. Give them the 3 E's: excitement, emotion, and enthusiasm. That's what a sale is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a transfer of excitement, emotion, and enthusiasm. Cast that vision. What does the next chapter look like? What do the next 5 years look like? You've already done so much, right? But what are you going to do? Are you looking backwards? You know, or are you putting in activity based on where you're going? How do you take your company right now to the next level? You already have the skill set. You know, but there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. We still got some walking to do.
That's right. You know, I love that because, you know, I love it when I hear somebody else in the industry talk about that, because I've been around to hear me, but I'm glad I brought you in today at 35 years old, hitting these $2.6 million a year in network marketing. But the whole idea, folks, I'm trying to tell you, it's alive. People are looking like never before. They want to be out of the house. They want, work from home. They want something better. But like Edmund says, you got to put it in. You can't go to the stove and say, give me some meat, I'll go get the wood. You got to put the time and work in it. And you got to put it in long hours. You might have, you know, that's what it takes. Amazing. The job call, you put in 8 hours a day. You won't put 2 or 3 for your own self a day? There's something wrong with that picture, wouldn't you say?
People work harder for someone else than they do for themselves.
Blows my mind.
You can't fill your calendar, so someone fills it for you. It's a damn shame, and it's the way we've been raised and programmed since birth and going to school. My parents always told me life isn't that easy. Life doesn't work that way. You know, I told them one day I'll live in a $2 million home, and they lectured me because they didn't think I liked the house we lived in. But I'll tell you, I came back into town for Mother's Day. I bought 2 Ferraris in one day, one for my CEO, one for my parents, handed them the keys, paid off, and they traded it in for their dream car, which was a Cayenne Porsche at the time. Sent the rest to my grandma in France so she could have a walk-in shower because she was getting too old to step over the tub. And I'll never forget this. You know, talk about turning your haters into fans. Literally, we'll never forget this. My parents said, well, I guess we need to start dreaming bigger.
Hey, what about you? Start dreaming bigger. Why not you? Why not you? I've done it. He's doing it. Why not you? There's nobody stopping you but who? You.
Why not me? 10 words to live by. If it is to be, it's up to me. You know, it's interesting. People can literally eat junk food every day. People can watch TV every day. People can consume social media every day. Hopefully shower every day and brush their teeth every day. But people are unable to speak their goals and dreams into existence every day. People are unable to look at what they're playing for. They can talk about bills, credit card debt, all this stuff, drama, low-level conversations with other people, but they are unable to have a conversation about where they want to go. What they say is must be nice.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
There's a lot of judgment between like people who have something and people who don't. When I see a guy in a Ferrari, I'm like, wow, I wonder what that guy does for a living. And I get inspired by other people's success, because if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. If you're making excuses for other people's success, like, oh yeah, I mean, if I did network marketing when Al was around, well, I would have killed it. Or if I got started when he got started, the opportunity is so much better today. Today we got technology.
Yeah.
This man was like filling out paper forms and stuff. Like, you know, he didn't
showing up to meetings.
He didn't have the same kind of back office. He didn't have an iPhone or an Android or Zoom. Or just everything we have today.
Yeah.
You know,
much easier.
Back then, $100,000 a month was a lot of money.
Yeah.
People are making $1 million a month in our industry. Yeah. People are crushing it. Young kids are making $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
And if they can do it, you can too. You just have to figure out what you want, and you just got to create enough compelling reasons for your success, so that your success becomes a must. Not just a want, but just this burning desire for more. That hunger and that ambition, it gets taken apart and destroyed from society, peers, spouses, significant others, and previous failures.
Keep talking.
But failures should motivate you. Failures are the best teachers and the best motivators. And one thing I have to realize is every successful person before me has failed more than me, has worked more than me, has endured more ridicule, has had to suffer a little bit more pain. And I have to realize I'm not special. If I want what they have, I'm gonna have to do what they did. So if you care about what other people think about you, entrepreneurship is not for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to be part of the 99%, if you want to, buy your parents their dream car because you already have 2 Rolls Royces and you already have your $2 million home and you're already living it up, well, you're going to have to do something different than the 99%. And it's going to start with what you put in here.
Yeah.
It has to be up here way before it materializes into an Amex with no spending limit. It's all about what you put in here. If you shower every day, man, read 10 pages a day, please.
Yeah. You know, and you can have better things in life, the house, the car. You know, we're at the cigar place here, and got my Cubans here, product is number 4. Can't get that everywhere. Why? Because it's only meant for, you know, I tell people it's like when you go into a bar, where's the most expensive liquor? It's on the high shelf. Why? It's not meant for everybody to have. But those people that, especially that work for it.
That Partagas number 4 is called a dinosaur bone, okay? They don't sell those anymore. And you definitely can't get those in the States.
Yeah,
you know?
and by the way, my friend, I got one for you.
Wow. Wow. Must be nice. Thank you.
It is. See, that's what I'm talking about. When you're playing with eagles, they fly at a certain level. And I want you guys to understand how this is. Anybody could do it if you put the time and effort into it. I mean, you're gonna do it anyway. Why wait? Why slow down? Do it now. Get it out of the way so you can enjoy the rest of your life. Man, I tell you what, this has been great.
Did you know eagles can live up to 70 years?
Yeah.
That's incredible. When eagles are 40 years old, they're faced with a very, very hard decision.
Right.
They either die or they go way up into the mountains and they have to keep hitting their beak. And they have to literally crush their beak until it falls off. And then they have to wait until a new one grows in that they can finally take their claws out because their claws are dull, their fur is, like everything at 40 is pretty much done. And it's a mental battle. And they stay down for 150 to 180 days to go through this process. Yeah. And then they come out stronger, victorious. They have another 30 years of life. It's absolutely amazing what you can do in 150 to 180 days of focus.
Wow.
But people give up after the first weekend, after the first couple no's, after the first time that nobody shows up to their house or nobody shows up on their Zoom or the pay isn't what they thought it was going to be. Is your ego, edging God out, is it really that big to where you're entitled to a big paycheck in a business your first couple months when the average business takes 3 to 5 years to break even and 98% of them fail? Child, please. You got to set the right expectations.
Oh, that's a good one. Right expectation. What's your expectation for yourself? That's so important. And I think people get off with the wrong expectation. Yeah.
Way overestimate what you can do in a year, way underestimate what you can do in 10. I have so many friends that are still in student debt. I'm 35 years old. They are still in student debt. Wow. They got their doctorate. They're a lawyer, but
broke as a joke.
Hey, it takes time. It takes time for them to work for 60 to 90 grand a year once they graduate to then eventually start their own practice and have a shot at $500,000 a year.
Yeah, and then it takes another 10 or 15 years to pay off the debt of student loans. That's why, they're doing what they're doing right now. The government is releasing these student loans. It's
and if you talk to me about the lawyer or the doctor that makes millions of dollars a year, guess what? Yeah, that's called the top 1% of their field. There are so many more networkers out there that have gone from zero to hero in such a shorter amount of time without that type of startup capital and debt. Yep.
That's two right here. Matter of fact, it's so funny. I just talked to my doctor. I'm doing an interview with him very shortly on concierge medicine. It's amazing. And I know what I know what they make. It's like, wow, all that. Well, anyway, it's
You couldn't pay me to read 300 pages a day. I mean, I read my 10, and I'll listen to some Jim Rohn, or Zig Ziglar, or Tony Robbins, or Les Brown. I mean, there's so many greats out there. Mm-hmm. But to read some boring jargon that is irrelevant for the next 6 years just to pass a test, to get a degree, to work for 60 to 90 grand while paying off student loan, to then start, why not start today? Why not get an education from people that are actually making millions, that have made tens of millions of dollars. Why not learn from them, partner with them? Like, I mean, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
It is so much easier to make your first million as an entrepreneur, working with successful people in a proven model with systems and processes, than it is to go out there and study to become a lawyer or a doctor. You can make lawyer, doctor money. You can. And you can do it in year 2, 3, 4 if you apply yourself the way they do to get that degree.
Yeah, it's called on-the-job training. You know, that's what you're making money as you're training and you're learning. What better way?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it blows my mind. You know, oh, it didn't work for me. What didn't work for you? Oh, I tried it. That's what they did. Tried, but you didn't stick in there. You know, it's amazing. But yet still to go to work 80 hours a day, hating it.
If you need a guarantee, you know, that's a JOB. Just over broke, just out of bed, sitting in traffic, being told what to do and being told how much you're worth. If you want to get paid what you're worth, if you want to write your own paycheck, it is a special breed. Not everybody wants to eat what they kill. But for the right person, if you know that you're worth more, if you know that you're destined for more and your family deserves more, it's the best place to be. And you can make that decision. It's in moments of decision that your destiny is determined. You can make a decision to want more tomorrow. As long as you're willing to work for it and your actions match your goals, don't let anybody talk you out of it. If you believe you're playing for it, you're playing for it. Do you know how many people laughed when I started? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My parents, my first year in solar called me, said, "Are you a solar millionaire?" Just smirking.
Yep.
You know, your friends, your family, they'll talk about you when you're not in the room. And that's okay. When my friends and family, the negative ones, called me my first couple years in solar and asked me how it's going, what's up, this, that, you know, when is enough, when are you going to come home, when are you going to go back to school, you know, you could be a doctor by now, blah, blah, blah. My parents are doctors, by the way. They make $150 a year with their own little practice. I would say, hey, I'm working, can I call you back? And just never call them back. If you believe you're playing for it, you're playing for it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. And I've never found someone that's truly more successful than me trying to talk me out of doing more and wanting more. So,
wow, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. So, folks, you know, you've went through it. Your family trying to talk you out of it. Friends, best friends that talk about you behind your back. You're on the right track. I used to say that, you know, when you walk out and you wave at somebody and you're walking across the street and they run in front of an 18-wheeler truck to miss you, you're on the right track. When you're supermarket and wave at somebody that goes to the frozen food section to miss you, you're on the right track. Exactly what you're saying. I love it.
Can't say the right thing to the wrong person, just like you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. But you gotta sift, sort, identify, and develop the right people. And if you want to attract more, you have to become more. That's why those 10 pages a day are important. That's why having the conversations are important, because you're gonna get good at what you do the most. You know, I used to bench press 315 pounds when I was younger, because I went to the gym every day for 2 to 3 hours a day, and I ate a lot of food, and that's where I was $1 million earner. I was $1 million earner in the gym. Everyone on here is $1 million earner. It might be social media, TV, hobbies, family. Maybe you're the best family person and you spend all your time, you know, with your wife and kids. You know, in order to level up, some things are going to have to change. Some things are going to have to give. There is that temporary imbalance. I'm talking about making $1 million a year here. I'm not talking about just getting by. I'm talking about giving up a few years of your life to really level up, to really put yourself in a position of authority where your family turns to you for help. You know, I no longer ask my parents for money. They ask me for money. You know, it is nice to be that guy that people turn to so that you can write a check. That takes some vision, some desire, some commitment, some consistency, and some sacrifice. Sacrifice, all it is restriction. Most people can't even restrict their sugar intake. You know, they can't restrict the amount of TV they watch. Meanwhile, we all have the same hours in the day. Yeah. The greater the goal, the greater the sacrifice. You know, and discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. the anxiety, the depression, it comes from knowing that you could do more, you should do more, but you don't. Instead of just taking action. And then don't be like 99% of people who base their excitement, emotion, enthusiasm, and belief on what's possible on their current results. Take action, marry the process, divorce the outcome, take action, keep taking action, keep putting in work, course correct, keep getting better, head down, 5-year commitment, and then in the 3rd year, just like it happened for Al, just like it happened for me, just like it happens for so many other people.
That's right.
You go from being that guy that like is going nowhere and nobody believes in and this and that to being called an overnight success.
Yeah.
Oh, Edmund, I always knew you were going to do it. I always knew you were going to make it. By the way, can I borrow some money? You literally become what's called an overnight success. I went from being a 12-year failure to an overnight success. It doesn't feel that way in the moment when you're sacrificing, when you're practicing restriction, when you're not partying on the weekends and starting over on Monday, when you know momentum is gained and lost daily, when you're doing everything it can to just stay above water, when you're doing everything you can to just keep going, when you're just forcing yourself to feed yourself with positivity, when you think you're crazy because you're saying daily affirmations, but the results aren't there. And everyone's mocking you, nobody believes in what you're doing. Doesn't feel like it's happening overnight during that time, but guess what? Those are some of my favorite memories. Sleeping in my Camry, figuring out how to overcome a $49 valet fee that I didn't have the money for and that nobody would help me with. Figuring out how to put gas in my tank. Figuring out how to pay my cell phone bill. Those are my favorite memories because those are the memories that made me. Overcoming those obstacles will make you, or like 99% of people, they will break you. You'll quit 3 feet from goal. You'll say this, if only I had startup capital. Child, please. I'll give you 50 grand right now if you can turn it into something. Startup capital, money flows to those that know what to do with it.
That's right.
Money flows to those that know what to do with it. When I started my own solar company, I made a few phone calls. I raised 500 grand at a $25 million valuation. I just raised 150 grand at a $50 million valuation. You know how many millions I was offered at a $10 million valuation? 10 million. Child, please. I'm worth more than that. But that's why it came in. Whereas 3 years ago, I couldn't get in 2019, I couldn't get $49 to pay a valet fee.
Wow. See, hard work and being focused and hard work. Don't look left, don't look right, put those blinders on, look straight ahead, and don't care about what all the naysayers and all the haters say. Because like I said, they'll be circling back around to you.
The valet fee happened because I had to switch hotels at 2 a.m. because I was in a motel. It was the Best Western Plus in Stockton, California. And I found out at 2 a.m. after working 8 days straight, no sales, no results, no money, no rest, bed bugs. Bed bugs in my room, go down to the lobby. They switch me rooms, next room, still bed bugs. 2 a.m, finding another hotel in Walnut Creek because that's where my appointments were the next day. And I just hadn't factored in the $49 valet fee.
Wow.
And I'm a 30-year-old kid crying about a $49 valet fee. Called my parents, called friends, called my parents. You see, I told you it wouldn't work. When are you going to come back? When are you coming home? I lived in Portland, Oregon, but the opportunity was in California. You got to get uncomfortable. Comfort is the killer of success. You will grow when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations. There's too many people out there still sleeping on a couch, living with grandparents or parents or off of someone, wanting, asking, depending. And I'll tell you, you're way too comfortable. Too spoiled. It's not an environment for success. For things to change, you have to change. You have to create a winning environment. Your goals and dreams will never exceed your environment. Not only do you have to create that environment, but then you have to guard it. For me, it was getting away from my hometown where there's bad habits, bad social life, the mundane, just everything on repeat. It was forcing my success to happen. Going out to California, of course there's no guarantees. Of course I ended up sleeping in my car, ended up in hotel rooms with bed bugs. But that didn't break me. It made me.
Motivated you.
And there was those decisions that there's so much FUD on the way up, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You're gonna think about quitting every single day. I did, but guess what? You quit when your head hits the pillow and you get those 6 hours of sleep. And then you jump out of bed like you're possessed because the work isn't done. You're fighting against, if you're stressed out about bills, well, you got so many days in the month to make it happen. You got so many hours. You really only can work 12, 14 hours, right? The rest of the time you gotta eat, you gotta bathe, you gotta sleep, but you gotta stress for success. You gotta put in that activity.
That's right.
And if you do that, it's not a 5-year commitment. It's you're putting 10 years of work into 2 to 3 years. It's compounded, and that 10 years in such a short period, if you can do it without burning out, will pay you millions.
Absolutely. It will pay you millions. Wow. Hey, also, why don't you tell us about your drink you just started here? Why don't you tell about that? He brought me one.
This is just for fun. It's on Amazon. It's an energy drink, caffeine from the leaf, not a lab. When I started in solar, there was an energy drink called Runa, and it was a healthy energy drink. There was no synthetic caffeine in it. There was organic cane sugar. There was 8 grams. So I put 4 grams of organic cane sugar in this. It tastes more like tea, and it's a little bit of a branding play, but it's also just a passion project. And yeah, I mean, Runa ended up selling for 400 million, and so you never know. But again, if you believe you're playing for it, you're playing for it. You don't need to let anybody talk you out of anything. And we way overestimate what happens year 1. We way underestimate what can happen in 10 years. And on your way up, nobody will believe in you.
That's right.
Nobody believed in me. Nobody will believe in you. And that's okay. Let all of that just turn it into fuel to produce, and develop your belief in yourself. And the way you do that is by putting in the work. If you have the courage, the guts, the desire to put in the work, to overcome all the obstacles, all the barriers, to do everything that every successful person has had to do before you, you will get the results.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. I love the branding of this. This is great. Great branding. Look at that. It's energy drink. Take a snapshot. Got it. Get on Amazon. Get it. A few words in closing.
See you guys at the top. If you believe you're playing for it, you're playing for it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. And you don't even have to share it. Just write it down and look at it every single day. Get yourself into motion and stay. Keep working. Don't stop for as long as you can, because there's so many better days ahead. But momentum is gained and lost daily. You have to stay consistent. Consistency is everything. Maybe you can't put in an 8-hour day and you only do 1 to 2 hours. That's fine. Make sure you do it every day, no matter what.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here. Watch this over again, because there's a lot in it. I mean, take notes. I always tell people, take notes and learn. And then not only that, read it again, do it again, then implement it, and then you become what I call a master at it. And that's what he's done. Master what he's done in solar. But to be 35 years old, making $2.6 million a year, I want you guys to hear from him, because you know what? Young people get it. People get it. People are looking. What about you? Stay with what you're doing, but put the time in it. Don't look left, don't look right. Just put the time in. And with that said, thank you so much for the channel. Take care. God bless. We'll see everybody real soon.